Tonight at Spillane Field, the Bourne Braves dropped the game to the Wareham Gateman 8-6. I'm joined by Alexander Moore and Blaine McCormick. I'm your host, Rob Werner, for some Tomahawk Talk. Alex, tonight for the Braves, it was Brian Hoeing taking the mound, and he's been solid a little bit toward the beginning of the season, but this Wareham Gateman team beat him last time at Doran Park. This time, same thing. First two innings, he's very solid, but that third inning comes around and he gives up 6 runs. It really seems like this team has his number.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, the first time out, he only made it 3 innings as well and gave up a lot of runs in that one. And tonight, like you said, I mean, 6 hits, 6 earned runs. Didn't record a strikeout either. But those first 2 innings, they were looking really good. He was using his defense to his advantage, a lot of ground ball putouts. But that third inning came around and he got a little shaken up after he gave up a couple of hits and just looked like he could not clear the mechanism and really just focus in on each batter, and it resulted in 6 earned runs. And so that's really tough for him, and they got his number for sure, but he'll learn from this. I'm sure he will.
So the Braves got down early, and Blaine, during this skid they've been in recently, they haven't been scoring many runs. They got down in this game 6-0 and then 8-1. They came back a little bit in the 7th inning of this game, though, getting 5 runs across in that inning, but it just seemed like it was too much.
Right. That's the positive thing to take away from this game, is that they can come back with these deficits. And good swings on the ball, by the way, from Anthony Prado and Jared Triolo to get those runners across. And, you know, that's the thing that's so different about this Bourne Braves team, is that there's been games that have really gone their way. They're chugging along at some points, but then they can't come back because sometimes with the bullpen, they allow a lot of earned runs to come across, because at one point, Brian Hoeing, like you said, gave up those 6 runs in that 3rd inning, but then 2 were later on. If those 2 runs didn't come across for the bullpen, this might have been a tie ball game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been tough for the Braves to score runs, and as the bullpen gave up those 2 runs, like you mentioned, it was very tough tonight. And tomorrow, the Braves are going to be taking on the Brewster Whitecaps at Doran Park. How important is it to beat a team that's the last place team in the East right now?
Well, they got to beat this team. I mean, that's going to be a really good game for them to try to get their footing back into what they were doing back earlier on in the season. I mean, they've had Brewster's number so far this season, and they need to win tomorrow night to get back to their winning ways and try to get some confidence back into this lineup, because for right now, they're having a tough 10-game stretch. And, yeah, it's a huge game tomorrow for the Bourne Braves. They need the entire Bourne Braves faithful out there to support them at Doran Park, and they have to win.
So tomorrow it's also going to be Trey Ben's second start. He faced Orleans once. That was his first start of the season. What do you want to see him do in his second start, Blaine?
Do pretty much the same thing that he did in his first start. Just work at a quick tempo, pound the strike zone like he's normally been doing. And, you know, he didn't have the longest appearance against the Firebirds, but he was really productive in that one. And he's just a fun guy to watch pitch, too. He's one of those that just fires it in. You know, we were talking with a lot of his family members earlier, and he's just a great kid to see and, like, talk with and everything. So if he can get the job done and pound the strike zone early and really work the corners against this Brewster team tomorrow, it's going to be a successful day for him.
So the Braves tonight, they fell 6-1 and 6-0 and then 8-1. Too much for them to come back. They came back a little bit in the 7th inning as they lost this game 8-6. Right now, alongside Alexander Moore and Blaine McCormick, I'm your host, Rob Werner, saying so long, and we'll see you tomorrow.